This video is to explain through thickness tensile testing, Zed-testing of rolled steel. Apply to plates and wide flats with thickness 15 mm and over with specified minimum through thickness Zed direction properties. Zed-grade steels are typically used to minimize the possibility of lamellar tearing during fabrication by welding. Sampling for testing. For sections, wide flat, the sample shall be taken from one end of the product. The sampling position shall be the flange. The location of the sample is indicated in figure. For flat products, the sample shall be taken from one end of the product. Test material shall be taken close to the longitudinal centerline from one end of each rolled piece representing the test unit. The test material shall be large enough to accommodate the preparation of 6 test specimens. 3 test specimens shall be prepared, while the rest of the sample remains for possible retest. The cross-section of each specimen shall be sufficient to permit the removal of any resultant heat-affected or work-hardened zone during machining of the final test pieces. Test pieces with or without extension pieces is subject to following condition. Extension pieces are mandatory for thickness 15 mm to 20 mm, both thickness inclusive, and extension pieces are optional for greater than 20 mm to equal or less 80 mm. However, extension pieces are not acceptable for thickness greater than 80 mm. Extension pieces are attached to test piece by welding. In following slides, the attachment of extension piece by friction welding and arc welding will be discussed. Prior to any welding taking place, all rust, scale and grease shall be removed from the contact surfaces of the specimen. Extension pieces are welded to both surfaces of the specimen using friction welding, arc, or another suitable method, in such a way as to ensure a minimum heat-affected zone. For specimens from sections with non-parallel surfaces, one surface shall be machined parallel to the other. In the case of I-beams with tapered flanges, the inside surface shall always be machined. Ensure the axis of the test pieces shall be perpendicular to the surface. Procedure for thin plates, extension pieces. For smaller plate thicknesses, extensions must be welded onto the plate using friction welding, keeping the heat-affected zone limited. Round discs are machined from the plates to be tested. Extension pieces are welded onto both surfaces of the disc samples by friction welding, after optimization of the process parameters of the friction welding process, to limit the heat input and the degradation of the material properties in the testing zone. The test material shall be large enough to accommodate the preparation of 6 test specimens. 3 test specimens shall be prepared, while the rest of the sample remains for possible retest. Round test specimens shall be prepared in accordance with a recognized standard, for example EN 10164 or ASTM A770. The round test specimens are prepared by turning in accordance with EN 10164 or ASTM A770. The tensile test shall be carried out to obtain reduction in area. Reduction of area. The ends of the fractured specimen shall be carefully fitted together, and the dimensions of the smallest cross-section measured to the nearest 0.025 mm, with a pointed micrometer or vernier caliper. The difference between the area thus found and the area of the original cross-section, expressed as a percentage of the original area, is the reduction of area. The percentage reduction of area, how much the specimen has necked or reduced in diameter at the point of failure where reduction of area is equal to original cross-sectional area minus cross-sectional area at site of the fracture divided original cross-sectional area into 100. Provision is made for the quality classes Z15, Z25 and Z35 based on specified minimum values for reduction of area in a through thickness tensile test, 15%, 25% and 35% respectively. Through thickness tensile strength shall be not less than 80% of the specified minimum tensile strength. Acceptance of test and condition for retest. The average value of a set of 3 test pieces shall meet the specified requirement. One individual value may be below the specified minimum average value, provided that it is not less than the specified minimum individual value. If the above condition is not satisfied, then an additional set of 3 test pieces shall be taken from the same sample and tested. To consider the test unit as conforming, after testing the second set, the following conditions shall be satisfied simultaneously. The average value of 6 tests shall be equal to or greater than the specified minimum average value. Not more than 2 of 6 individual values may be lower than the specified minimum average value. Not more than 1 of 6 individual values may be lower than the specified minimum individual value. The remainder of the test unit, if applicable. Retest. If applicable. A new set of 3 tests shall be carried out on each of 2 different products from the remainder of the test unit. Those 2 series of tests shall meet the requirements. In this case, above-mentioned condition, or relaxation for first test, are no longer applies. Which mean if one of these retests does not meet the requirements of applicable Z quality classes, Z15, Z25 or Z35, then the remainder of the test unit shall be retested product by product. Each product on which the tests do not meet the requirements shall be rejected.